very much. For me, it's easier this way. I'm teaching a large class at Purdue, and it's a more informal atmosphere. So today I'm talking about applying Erving Goffman's theory of framing to public relations, especially to the study of internal communication. During my times at Purdue, I studied all the crazy fun stuff with regard to public relations. I did statistics, I did qualitative methods, rhetorical analysis, PR and religion. Now I'm working on PR and music, and I'm using a quantitative research study. So hang in there, please don't start throwing some tomatoes. I'll be really short. I ran into some previous literature on public relations and the importance of applying Erving Goffman's theories to public relations. So far, we had a lot of studies done from the perspective of impression management, but very few studies done using the framing theory. I started by looking into, I'm not a PowerPoint person, so I'll use my academic notebook. As you can see, it's also bringing me good luck. I started by looking into organizational identity, and we all know that organizations want to develop certain values so that their employees will identify themselves with the values, and this will promote loyalty and will increase the corporation's effectiveness overall. So I wanted to see if internal communication can actually shed light on the ways in which employees identify themselves with the values of the corporations. In other words, if we really have a convergence between the ascribed identity, how the organization is perceived by the employees, and the avowed identity, what actually our organization says they are all about. I started looking into Erving Goffman theory framing, very different from the framing theory that we are usually acquainted with, that's dealt with in mass media effects and studies, especially Antman, Schäufele have the studies that media tells us not only what to think about, but also how to think about things, and they will take certain aspects of a perceived reality, make them more salient in a different text. This theory, Goffman theory, deals with the fact that we actually have a context or a background that is full of rules and values, and whenever we want to judge an event or a situation, we will extract from those values in order to judge an event. And usually it happens at a subconscious level, usually not. Most of the times it just happens inadvertently. In order to perform the study, certainly, and this is one of the limitations of the study I'm very aware of, I had no access to actually go to a corporation and interview employees. What I did is I took Daimler as an example, and they have this blog. It's called as Daimler blog, Einblicke in einen Konzern, which would be like insights into a corporation. And they let their employees and everyone who interacted with Daimler at an internal level state their opinion. Some of them are really critical, some of them aren't. So first of all, I used the grounded theory of how to perform a qualitative research study. So I went to the official Daimler's website, and I read the mission statement and everything they had there about corporate social responsibility, and I put them in categories. So first I determined the values, and then I went into 159 articles written by their employees, written online by other stakeholders such as interns and everyone else who interacted with Daimler during a 6-month period. The 6-month period ended in March 2011 because I figured I should hurry up to do the study so that I can come to BledCom and submit it. It was a lot of work because it's an inductive-deductive approach, so you have to really be exposed multiple times to the same text. I coded them in German. I love languages, and I think it's so important to read something in the language it is written so that you won't lose the connotations of the words. Then I found a co-author, thank God, and I had to train her a lot so that I'll ask her to code the articles one more time in the hope that we will reach inter-rated reliability. Sorry, I have butterflies. And we had one of 62.3%. We had intercode reliability, sorry, so thank God for that. And I'm not going into details about Goffman's theory. All the details are in the papers, but I just want to briefly show you the results and what actually happens when we apply this theory. I think it's really important to couple it with quantitative methods of studies, because once we measure a value, okay, this value actually is mirrored in what the employees think about the company. If we use additionally Goffman theory, we can actually look into what determined the perception of a certain value in a certain way. And in this thing, we know in this way we can actually shift the values. We all know that corporations engage in this strategic ambiguity, so that they will promote one value, but then they know that if you perceive it in a different way, they have to make a certain shift. So let me show you the results. Thank you, I think I'm in time. First of all, Daimler's values were innovation, sustainability, safety, diversity, corporate social responsibility, and commitment to employees. And there are three frames that Goffman talks about. There are the astounding complex frames that deal with the fact that when you actually have a change in your organization, employees would ask for certain values for an explanation, but for an explanation that will fall under the umbrella of the values that they already have. So they do not want you to do certain things that are extremely deviant from how you trade them so far, and this makes sense. We have the cosmological interest frames, and when I saw this, I was like, oh my God, not again cosmology, because we had one class of a year of philosophy. But cosmological frames refer to the fact that corporations would have this kind of reputation that they're the only ones who can do a certain thing. And you take, as we discussed several times yesterday, you take part of this reputation of a corporation that's outstanding. Only Daimler can do this, technological, miracles or innovations. You take part of this and you take it outside because you do want the social recognition of your peers. And in other words, I am a Purdue graduate student. I take part of Purdue's reputation, and I'm proud to be a Purdue grad student because of Neil Armstrong achievements. Everyone knows we stepped on the moon, and we were the first ones, though some people doubt that. And also the muffing frames that deal with the fact that something from exterior triggered an event in the corporation. Therefore, it is not Daimler who does this, but it's the environment, the macro system in which the corporation operates that triggered this. Innovation, I found that innovation is predominant in the astounding complex frame. Now, this means that employees may be really enthusiastic about all the technical innovations, but still, they do not want this innovation to be farther off from what they already saw that Daimler was doing. And some of the posts mentioned the fact that Daimler comes up with all these new cars and new technological innovations, but they want, for example, one line of a model or one line of a car to be the same. The C model, the E model, and so on. Cosmological interest frames were also present in a proportion of 21, almost 22%. And they dealt with the fact that Daimler has this kind of magic thing attached to them. I'm working for Daimler, I'm really proud. Only Daimler can do these things. Some of the posts mentioned the fact that Daimler has this research center that comprises of 47,000 researchers that are spread around the world. And they're also the Daimler actually sets the standard for some other car industries. And then we had the muffing frames, which I was expecting this to emerge, that deal with the fact that, okay, innovation is triggered from outside, from the macro system. You have to be innovative in order to stand on the market. Thank you. And we had sustainability, that's very important. Most of the employees think that Daimler is not pro-environment and it's not eco-friendly because they want to, but actually because, again, the macro system, you have to be socially responsible in order to survive on the market. Now, safety, again, provides these cosmological interest frames, so they're really proud, and they think that only Daimler can actually provides these safeguards. This goes hand in hand with technology. Only they can do amazing things. But there are also astounding complex frames, which deals with the fact that, okay, you are safe, but okay, thank you very much. They're still from the environment. The other car industries have to be like this as well, and this is why you are. I have 1 minute on diversity, very, very important. So the employees that actually had done an internship with Daimler, they were really happy, and corporate social responsibility was part of diversity of promoting the German culture. You actually see here a very enthusiastic student from Kuwait, and she says, before leaving Germany, I still cannot realize that next week I will not be able to speak a word of German or walk along the nice quarters of Berlin. So she gets framed. So part of Daimler is also part of promoting the German culture. I'll be really brief and I'll just wrap it up. So if we really couple this with quantitative research, we can determine why people think the way they think, and then we can work from there. And thank you very much. I just finished my